Well, I was born in Duluth, Minnesota, 1949. Grew up several different places. Lived on the hillside on 2nd Avenue West and 4th Street. And actually, after about 3 or 4 years, we were probably one of the first families when the housing projects opened up. Top of the hill, the old ones. I enlisted in the Marine Corps right out of high school, 20th day of June, 1967.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Marine Corps Reserve 90-day delay program. When I went into the Marine Corps, you know, an 18-year-old kid out of high school, thought it was his duty to go. And so you go, you go do those things. Went to boot camp on October 3rd, 1967. You better be in good shape when you go in. If not, it'll either kill you or you'll be in good shape when you get out. We went to Camp Pendleton for infantry training. And from there, I went to motor transport school at Pendleton. And then after that, we had orders in boot camp to go what they called Westpac, which was Vietnam. 80% of the platoon had orders right out of boot camp when we were there. I thought I'd be doing convoys or something and running, but I got assigned there, and I was assigned to a reconnaissance battalion. I remember sitting on the beach in California before I went, night after night on Oceanside, looking out over the ocean, wondering whether or not am I coming back. That's basically in everybody's mind.
What do you remember about when you first arrived in country? What was the initial impression that you got when you got there?
Same thing I'm sure a million other guys did. The heat, the oppressive heat, the smell. The smell when they open the doors of the plane, of the 115 above, and diesel fuel and jet fuel, and the smell of the rice paddies into the heat. I was assigned for a while with the S2 operations driver, so we went all over from, where the 5th Marines were, 7th Marines, 11th Marines, and S2 was intelligence, so recon battalion. Then they transferred me, and I started driving for the scuba locker. And then I went out with all the scuba teams that we took out 5 days a week to probably, there must have been a dozen bridges. And the divers would have to go check, and I would provide security while they're in the water. Check in for any explosives that might have been put on the bridges, anything where there's any damage to them, that could be an issue. Several have been blown up already, so, especially Liberty Bridge had been hit twice. I did feel like a sitting duck. It was at times pretty hairy. I'd tell the whole story just for curiosity that during one of those times, I think I made Johnny Weissmuller look like a chump several times because we were out in local villages away, and had to get in through the areas where, where the bridges were. So we were, sniped at frequently. There's different levels of stress. I saw combat, but I wasn't in it like some of these guys were as much with the regular line of an infantry company. You're not really fighting for your country. You're fighting to stay alive and fighting for the guy that's there with you. We were out on the bridge check, and the radio communication came that whole team from Bravo Company just got wiped out, so we went down and took the remains out. I can see things, I hear things, but a smell will really just instantly kind of just bring you back to a different time. It was a birthday present. My birthday was April 20th. I got there April 3rd of 68, and on April 20th of 69, I got my rotation date, which was to be the following day, April 21st. It was nice to do it, but then there were some regrets because you figure you're leaving, and it's people that you knew and spent a long time with are staying. So, got some nasty looks at LAX, LA Airport. You got your uniform to fly standby. And I remember landing in Minneapolis, and an old buddy of mine that I grew up across the street picked me up, and went out for a drink. And I'm still, in a fog anyway, but people really looked at you strange, and they're like, what the hell are you doing? You're with the uniform, and you felt like you didn't belong. I remember taking 2 of my younger sisters to a Bridgman's down on the, what do they call that area where the Ellicaf coffee shop is, the old plaza. Just did not feel right. Like several others that I know, you just kind of put it behind you, and you didn't even talk about it. Most of the time, we didn't even let people even know after some of the receptions or what we saw. We didn't even let them know we served.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it. I mean, I was part of history. I lived history. I was there. I met some wonderful, wonderful people, and I really rather accentuate the positive than negative.